Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's JPR, and today we got a lot of new Pokemon Sun and Moon information, but before we get into that, I just want to give a quick shout out to the new Team Valor site. It is currently being set up. It's going to have some forums along with a few other things, so if you are a proud member of Team Valor like I am, then be sure to go check it out. I will leave a link in the description down below, so if you're into that sort of thing, then go ahead and help them out. It's very appreciated. Now, a new Pokemon Sun and Moon trailer just dropped in Japan, like literally a few minutes ago, and there's not too many new things showcasing it, like no new Pokemon or anything like that, but they do give insight to a couple of new features. The first one that's really notable is Pokemon Ami is back and has a couple of upgrades, like a new grooming thing that you can see here with Pikachu and like the hair dryer type thing. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but apparently they are expanding on Pokemon Ami, so it's going to be even more fun than it was before if you thought it was fun. So, you know, if you like Pokemon Ami, then congratulations, it's back and better than ever. The only really major thing that we got to see is that this new animation pops up whenever you use that new, bracelet thing that they showed before, you know, like the little diamonds that are on the wristband type thing. We still have no idea what the heck it is, but at least they are now kind of showing us what it's about. It's like you get this new symbol here, and in the battle, it actually syncs with your Pokemon's type. It does kind of like a burst attack type thing, kind of like in Pokken. I'm not saying that's what it is, but, you know, no kind of transformation or anything happens like Ash Greninja like a lot of people expected. Or maybe it will in the future if it's like a final form. But as for right now, it looks like it just kind of like powers up your Pokemon's type and gives them like a really powerful move in the process. Again, we really don't know too much so far. The details are very, very fuzzy. It just gives you a couple of quick seconds to look at it, so I'll put the trailer in the description down below as well, so if you want to go check that out, then be sure and do that. Now on to the big news, the big freaking news. Kurokuro drops and gives us 2 brand new Pokemon, and when I first saw these guys, I was like, this is what we're doing, a Pikachu rag and a Pedo Bear spin-off. Like, what are we doing here with these? But it appears Game Freak has built sort of a safety net for both of these Pokemon because they knew the people wouldn't like the designs. So they built kind of a safety net to ensure that people can't dislike them. I mean, just read the description from Mimikyu, which is the little ghost thing covered by the Pikachu cloak. Basically, it's a Pokemon that hates the sunlight, and it has to basically hide its body underneath this Pikachu cloak to avoid spreading an illness that it gets when it's exposed to the sun. And the reason that it hides underneath a Pikachu cloak is because it wants to be loved like Pikachu is. Well freaking done, Game Freak. I have to applaud you because, you know, I really wasn't feeling this Pokemon, and then you give us a Pokedex entry like that, and I'm like, I have no choice but to feel sympathetic for it. I have to like it, because if I don't, then I'm a terrible person, and I am just contributing to this thing's pain and suffering. And it seems to be kind of a recurring theme, because it's like, oh, look at this stupid caterpillar cocoon type thing. It looks so bad. Oh, but he just wants to help you out. He's a charging block. You know, Pokemon Go uses a lot of battery. Look how awful this dragon looks. It's nothing compared to Dragonite and Salamence. But he just wants to spend time with children. Can't you give him a break? This thing hides itself under an old rag, but it just wants to be loved. Like, really, for every Pokemon that you dislike in this generation, there is at least one reason as to why you can't dislike it. And I have to give props to Game Freak for avoiding the hate. I mean, imagine if they did this with Trubbish. Like, you know, Trubbish isn't really a trash bag. It's just a Pokemon living inside of a trash bag that fills itself with trash to clean up the environment. He's just trying to help out. You know, you gotta give these Pokemon some personality. That's why people like them. They're doing it right in Gen 7. Anyway, the weird bear is a normal fighting type with the abilities Fluffy and Klutz. We don't know what Fluffy is, but I guess they'll tell us eventually. And apparently everybody in the Alola region is scared out of their mind of this thing, because if this thing hugs you, it will kill you. Game Freak, please give this thing a one-hit KO move that only has 30% accuracy, and just call it Hug. That way when people look up lists of one-hit KO moves, they'll see Horn Drill, Guillotine, Fissure, Sheer Cold, Hug. Please, just make it happen. Pokemon that kills you with love. And I already talked about this freaking thing, but apparently it's the first ever Ghost and Fairy type, which I have to admit is a really good typing. All I can say is that I hope this thing doesn't evolve, because I can see 2 things happening. One, it takes off the cloak and it actually like, gains an immunity to sunlight, and that would kind of like ruin the mystery of it. Like, you think about it, it's like we're kind of wondering like what is actually under this cloak, you know? It's not really a Pikachu. Like, what is the ghost thing that lives under this cloak? And we haven't really had like a mysterious Pokemon like this since like Dugtrio. You know, everybody wonders what's underground, like what do its feet look like? And as for this thing, we're just like, what does this thing's entire body look like? So I hope they kind of keep it a mystery, you know, hopefully it doesn't evolve, or if it does, then just keep it under the cloak. Anyway, the second situation I can think of is that when it evolves, it turns into a Raichu cloak. And at that point, I just won't care what the Pokédex entry says, I'll just be done. Like, sorry, you're not joining my team, regardless of how much love you need. So in conclusion, these Pokemon are very weird, but very intriguing at the same time. So I'm very interested to see how they're going to be when the actual games come out. So what do you guys think about them? Drop a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.